Hey everyone, Wyduck here again, this time with a best of 3 replay set from the WCS Season 2 European Edition and from Group F action here on Shir Vestige. We've got spawning in the top left as the Blue Terran representing Mouse Sports. We've got Lucifron. And it seems like whenever I do a cast of a Lucifron replay, it's generally pretty entertaining and exciting. So I'm hoping that trend continues in this game. But his opponent, spawning in the bottom right as the Red Zerg, representing Team Acer, we've got Bly. And Bly is no slug himself, as he is a very good European player, just like Lucifron. So this game can be very entertaining. The game is totally up for grabs for either player. Now, I'm not really that familiar with Bly's playstyle, so he may be one of those sorts of players that might have a more conventional playstyle. We'll have to see here. He is droning up heavily here, though, so it looks like he might be opening up with a hatchery first. Now, Lucifron is going for a barracks on the high ground as well as the refinery, so it looks like he might be seeing some fast Reapers. And this is generally pretty typical of Lucifron. He likes to get those Reapers out, get some scouting intel, and also maybe kill a few Zerglings and a few drones, and then immediately take up to the factory with that reactor to pump out fast Hellions. Now, Bly is opening out with a hatchery on the low ground expansion, of course. Should be going for a spawning pool very soon. I don't know why I said that very soon. Almost said soup for some reason. I haven't had lunch yet. That might be affecting my ability to speak correctly. But Lucifron is going to be training Reapers. There we go. The first Reaper is going to be coming out fairly soon. And he is going to block off that ramp into his main with that supply depot. Now this Overlord from Bly is about to reach Lucifron's destination. And generally, players like to send their first Overlord very close to this ramp so they can see kind of if there's going to be a command center or what kind of block off they have at that ramp. So this is pretty typical to have that Overlord travel in an angled, at an angled route instead of just straight to your opponent's main base. But that Reaper is going to come out for Lucifron and is darting across the map. Now, we do have a few Zerglings on the way for Bly, as well as a Queen. And the Queen will be the key to the defense, because Zerglings are not as fast as Reapers. And the Reaper is able to scout out that natural expansion, and is now hopping its way to the main. The Zerglings are ready to defend, but it looks like the drones are going to be under fire, but the Zerglings are going to buffer that attack. But now with 4 Zerglings, it looks like Lucifron's Reapers might not be able to do too much here. He's going to go back to the natural, finding one lone drone to try and pick off. But that drone is going to form into an extractor instead. So this Reaper is going to not do very much, unfortunately. Now he is going to get back up here. And it looks like the Zerglings might go down. We do have 2 Queens flanking this position. The Reapers really need to get out of here. They can jump down on this low ground here. There we go. And so unfortunately losing 2 Zerglings. But Zergling speed has already been started. And so these Reapers are not going to be able to harass her too much longer. And their harass is not that significant, simply because the Queens are sitting at both bases. So the Reapers are going to fall back. At the same time, we have 2 Zerglings from Bly picking away at this SCV, able to destroy the SCV, but at the exact same moment, that command center is able to finish up. So Lucifron doesn't lose any time on that command center timing, and he is pumping out a lot of Marines, it looks like. I guess one thing that seems to be different here is that Lucifron is not going for Hellions. Instead, he's actually getting tanks, so this is interesting. He might be expecting some sort of roach attack coming in. And he is getting his 3rd command center as well. It's only the 6-minute mark in the game. So this is quite early. And now Lucifron is going to try and defend this position. He has 2 Reapers, 2 Marines here, now 1 Marine here. 2 more Marines are going to reinforce this position. The Zerglings do all fall. But this is interesting. Generally, a lot of Terran players like to diagonally put the supply depot wall at a 45-degree angle. Lucifron has opted for a straight 90-degree angle sort of play. So this is interesting. I don't see this that often because Zerglings or maybe Roaches can attack this side much more easily. But with this tank here, it'll still be difficult for Lucifron to engage. But we do have a lot of Roaches and Zerglings coming in now. So very good spider sense from Lucifron. Unfortunately, he only has one tank. And I'm not sure if one tank can hold against his attack. That's a lot of Zerglings. We have 16 Zerglings and 7 Roaches. Well, that siege tank hit actually killed 4 Zerglings immediately. So 25% of that Zergling force was cut down in one shot. But we do have 7 Roaches here. And like I said, because it wasn't blocked off the 45-degree angle fashion, now the Roaches have to walk all the way around, and they're going to be able to do that. They're focusing down that siege tank is going to fall. This bunker full of Marines does significant damage, as well as the reinforcing Marauders. And so this last Roach is going to be destroyed. So a lot of resources lost for our Zerg player. Not a very successful attack for Bly. And now Lucifron is pumping out more and more Widow Mines. Stimpak is half finished as well. And I think that lone siege tank really did a good job there. Very good intuition by Lucifron. And like I mentioned before, it looks like he is going to be moving into Hellions now, which is a little bit strange. Generally, you get Hellions earlier to try and maintain map control. Try to keep down that creep spread. Now, Bly is one of those kinds of players that sometimes doesn't have that much creep spread, in my opinion. He does have 2 active creep tumors here, so this is a good thing. I think Zerg players always need more creep spread. And he is blocking off the entrance into his natural with 2 evolution chambers. So if Lucifron's planning to use the Hellions to do some economic harassment, he's not going to find it very successful. The 2 Hellions are going to be moving in here. The creep tumors immediately spotted, and the Queens are already in position, picking away at the Hellions. Lucifron did find a nice hole here, able to pick off 1 drone. Is he going to be able to do any more? 1 Hellion does go down. 2 more drones are destroyed, picking off 4 drones for the price of 2 Hellions. So that's not a bad trade for Lucifron. But the Baneling's Nest is going to come into play very soon. 1-1 is being researched by both players as well. And it looks like Lucifron is not going to be bothering with Hellions anymore. He's building a lot of barracks and a lot of reactors to go with those barracks, effectively making them double barracks in the case of training Marines. Now Lucifron is going to be plopping down his 3rd orbital command at this location. And so at this point in time, it's going to be up to Bly to either expand and take a 4th base or do a lot of damage economically to Lucifron. Otherwise, Lucifron is going to really sprout ahead economically, because Zerg players, you always want to be 1 base ahead of your non-Zerg opponents. Otherwise, it's going to be very rough for you, especially since Terran players have access to mules. So 3 bases to 3 is not really even, because mules mine so much faster. Now the Spire for Bly has not been detected by Lucifron, so this may be a window for Bly to do some economic damage secretly with the Spire. He is getting +1 flyer attacks immediately, and he is building 3 Mutalisks as well, but at the same time, Lucifron looks like he's going to be moving across the map, able to take control of that North Selnaga tower. Not able to spot very much except those 2 retreating Zerglings. But Lucifron is still rampaging across the map. He is now moving on to the creep, focusing down on this Overlord. Unfortunately, this Overlord is not going to survive, it doesn't look like. Oh, it might survive. It has 11 life. No, it's going to get shot down. Scan does go down. A lot of creep tumors are cleaned up as well. Good scan by Lucifron. But like I said, what can really turn the tide is if Bly is able to surprise Lucifron with a whole bunch of Mutalisks. Now, it looks like this 4th hatchery from Bly is being under attack by some Marines, but at the same time, a larger force is going to knock on that door, the front door of Bly's natural, and the evolution chambers are under attack. The Marines are spitting preemptively against those Banelings. The Zerglings are reinforcing the position as well as the Mutalisks, so the Mutalisks have been spotted. Bly is going to pick up and drop on the higher ground. Great play by Lucifron. And now the Zerglings are trying to get up that ramp, but unfortunately the ramp is blocked up by Lucifron's Marines and Marauders. The Banelings can't get good connections. And a lot of them are wasted, unfortunately, on Marauders, and it looks like the Medivacs are going to pick up and boost away once again. So very good play by Lucifron. If you take a look at resources lost, Bly has lost almost twice as much as his Terran opponent. And at the same time, there's still some harassment going on at this third base of Bly. He wasn't able to maintain the fourth hatchery either. So Bly is going to be falling behind economically. And he's also supply blocked by losing that last Overlord over in this position. So everything is going Lucifron's way, it looks like, and nothing is going Bly's way. If you take a look at the supply, there's a 50 supply difference. And even with those Mutalisks, I don't think Bly's going to be able to do too much, because now he's really, really behind. And Lucifron is in the middle of the map. He's going to be taking down some Zerglings for free, and he's going to be rampaging into that fourth base once again. And this area is very, very tight. So range units have a definite advantage over melee units, and so Zerglings are going to have a problem trying to surround here. Now, the Widowmines are trying to set up. A whole bunch of Banelings do go down, and even more Banelings are blown up. So even though the Widowmines didn't get any real connections, the Banelings did blow up on them. So pretty good effective use of Widowmines as sacrificial lambs. So Lucifron must be pretty happy about that. He is getting 2-2 as well. And 2-2 is going to finish before Bly's 2-2 is finished. And I think at that moment in time, Lucifron can really press his advantage, especially with his supply lead of about 70. And all the action, unfortunately, for Bly is happening on Bly's side of the map. And it looks like the Marines are going to be moving in here. The Widowmine does go off, not killing anything, doing significant damage to that Queen. But now if this third base goes down, I think it's going to spell the end of our Zerg player. I don't think there's really any way that he can get back in the game. He's so behind upgrade-wise, he's behind supply-wise, and if he loses this base, he'll be behind economically as well. The Banelings are going to roll in here. Great connections! Wow, roasting a lot of Marines. Maybe that's one way to get back into the game. And now Lucifron is going to try and press in again, but this is not going to be very effective, losing so many Marines to those very good Baneling connections. Now, the Mutalisks are rushing in here headlong, but I don't think the Mutalisks should be the front line. It should be the Zerglings that are the front line unit. Lucifron is going to try and retreat to the safety of his Widowmine line, but Bly is not going to fall for that. It looks like the Medivacs are going to boost away and drop in the center of the map, picking at those creep tumors as well as some stray Mutalisks and Zerglings. So Bly is losing a few units here and there, but the supply deficit has been cut from 70 to about 50, but that's still a huge supply lead for Lucifron. Now, once again, Bly is morphing in a whole bunch of Banelings. We've got 19 here and 7 on the way. 26 Banelings can totally wreak havoc on a Marine line, but Lucifron has a lot of Widowmines in position, so Bly has to be very careful here. Great connections, killing about 7 Marines with 1 Baneling. And if Bly can keep getting connections like that, then Lucifron might lose this game. Now, Bly does have a 4th base here, but Lucifron also has his 4th up and running. But at the same time, we do have harassment at the main base, a successful drop, picking away at a whole bunch of drones, as well as the Spine Crawler. And at the same time, the 3rd base is constantly under attack. The Banelings are going to try and roll in here. Marines are trying to flee. Not great connections, only able to take down 2 Marines. It looks like the Marines are going to be going back in for another attempt. The Banelings do get good connections on the second batch of Marines. A few more good connections, but unfortunately, Lucifron still has a 60 supply advantage, and it looks like he will be moving into this 4th base as well. So he has 2 main attack forces. It looks like the main attack force has been whittled down. This Widowmine just got a whole bunch of Zergling kills, 15 in total, and at the same time, Lucifron is going to be able to pick away at this base at the 4 o'clock position. So Bly is back down to 3 bases. Lucifron is still on 4. And the longer this game goes on, the rougher it's going to be for Bly. Bly is going to be pushing back here, but at the same time, Lucifron is going to reinforce his position, forcing the retreat of these Zerg units. So even though it looked like Bly might want to push back, he doesn't really have the ability to. And with 3-3 almost finished, I think this is going to be the coup de grace. Lucifron is moving into the 3rd base again, firing down with his 2-2 weapons, almost 2-3, able to pick off that hatchery. The Mutalisks are firing down on these Widowmines, able to clean up a lot of the Widowmines, but all we have is Mutalisks left here now. And now Mutalisks are not that good against Marines, but all we have left in this attack for is a few Marauders. But unfortunately, like I said, Bly is stuck on 2 bases. He's trying to get his third back up, but he's down by 50 supply. He's almost out of minerals. He has quite a bit of gas, but without minerals, obviously, you can't build very much. And Lucifron is very, very happy mining on his 4 bases. So Bly is going to try and make one last attack here, I think. I think this is going to be it. But the missile turrets are going to scare away these Mutalisks. And unfortunately, Mutalisks, like I said before, are not very good against Marines, especially Stim Marines. And there aren't that many Zerglings to help reinforce this army. Now, these Changelings are not going to do too much either. They're all going to get picked apart, actually. And now Lucifron is in the middle of the map. He's rebuilt his lead up to about 70 supply lead. And he's going to be going again for that third hatchery once again. Scans are going down, able to spot that army. So Lucifron knows exactly where Bly is. The drones are going down. The Marines and Marauders have been stimmed a lot. There's only 2 medevacs here. But with only Mutalisks and Banelings, the Banelings all roll up onto those Marauders. That is not a good use of Banelings. And I think this is going to be it, the Evolution Chamber here. I don't know why there's a lone Evolution Chamber here on the middle here. Not going to be able to do too much. The Banelings are trying to roll in once again, as well as the Mutalisks. And it's actually funny, Lucifron was supply blocked here. It looks like a large counterattack at that third base with some Zerglings. But the Widow Mines, with their splash damage, are able to destroy a majority of those Zerglings. And it looks like another drop is going ahead at that main base of Bly's. Lucifron is just everywhere, attacking everything. And the Hive is going to go down as well. Bly, unfortunately, was not able to do too much. 2 single Gs means 2 Gs, which means a GG from Bly. So Lucifron is able to take game 1 of this best of 3 series. We'll have to see if Lucifron is able to close it out next game, or if Bly can force a deciding game.